Blackstone Audio presents The Vampire's Assistant by Darren Shan. This book is read by Ralph Lister. Introduction. My name is Darren Shan. I'm a half-vampire. I wasn't born that way. I used to be ordinary. I lived at home with my parents and younger sister Annie. I enjoyed school and had lots of friends. I liked reading horror stories and watching scary movies. When this freak show came to town, my best friend, Steve Leopard, got tickets, and we went together. It was great, really spooky and weird. A super night out. But the weirdest part came after the show. Steve recognized one of the characters from the show. He'd seen a drawing of him in an old book and knew he was a vampire. Steve stuck around after the show and asked the vampire to turn him into one too. Mr. Crepsley, the vampire, would have. But he found out Steve's blood was evil, and that was the end of that. Or it would have been the end, except I stuck around too to see what Steve was up to. I wanted nothing to do with vampires, but I'd always loved spiders. I used to keep them as pets, and Mr. Crepsley had a poisonous performing tarantula, Madame Octa, who could do all sorts of great tricks. I stole her and left a note for the vampire saying I'd tell people about him if he came after me. To make a long story short, Madame Octa bit Steve, and he ended up in the hospital. He would have died, so I went to Mr. Crepsley and asked him to save Steve. He agreed, but in return, I had to become a half-vampire and travel with him as his assistant. I ran away after he turned me into a half-vampire by pumping part of his own horrible blood into me and saved Steve. But then I realized I was hungry for blood and was afraid I'd do something terrible, like bite my sister if I stayed at home. So Mr. Crepsley helped me fake my death. I was buried alive. And then, in the dead of night, with no one around, he dug me up and we took off together. My days as a human were over. My nights as a vampire's assistant had begun. Chapter 1.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?